Hi everyone, Caroline here. Question for you. So, who's out there still actively trying to save anyone? Who's still trying to save someone? Maybe it's their family member or their friend or whatnot. Who's still trying to save people from themselves? I've been talking for a long time about this thing of saving people, saving my family, feeling some type of way, and just having this savior complex, and imagining that I would go in and kind of swoop people up and maybe just open their eyes to the higher wisdom because, I got the answers and that kind of thing. Even though I know that I have been told several times to stop it. But for some reason, because I have these old belief systems about how we should take care of each other and how I've been programmed, just like many of us have been, to take care of the people that we love and to kind of help them through their processes, because that's how the old world used to work, and to try to kind of, knock some sense into people to see that there's an easier way to do things. And just because we see how people are suffering and what they're going through and whatnot, we think that because we have evolved, or I think that because I have reached a certain stage in my life where I have been able to move through my own things and evolve through them. And because I have the information or the wisdom that has helped me through my own processes, I've kind of felt the need to kind of share this information with my family members or my friends just to help people through, let's get through this thing so that we can all evolve faster, so that we can all be together, so that everything can be fine, especially in the area of health and wellness and wholeness and spirituality. You know what I mean? And no matter how many times this information has been given to me, Caroline, stop, 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 somehow I have always managed to defy this thing. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to stop. And then I would always feel like maybe I need to say something. I just one word. And most people around me ignore this information. So, anyway, I have now come to a point where I'm just like, okay, I had a dream, the last dream that I had last year. And that dream shook me to the core because it really helped to knock some sense into me. And I really, really put a stop to trying to convince or save the members of my family. In that dream, my family members were in the back of a truck, and the truck was going up a hill. And when it got to the top of the hill, the back of the truck tipped over, and all my family members fell into a ditch. And I fell in the ditch, but I was not experiencing the things they were experiencing in the ditch. What was happening in that ditch was all my family members were kind of drowning in some kind of molasses type mud. You know what I mean? Like they were inside the ditch and they were like totally disappearing inside the ditch. And I was standing there, but I was not inside the ditch. And I was trying to pull some family members. And the more I tried to pull them, the more they went deeper and deeper into that molasses type thick mud. And most of them appear to be dying. The more I tried to save them, the more they looked like they were going to die. And I was so afraid because I was like, oh my gosh, this person is just like a little baby. What's happening? I need to save this person. Or this person is like old and this person is like, you know what I mean? But the message was clear to me that if I continued to try to do whatever it was that I was intending to do to help my family members or to save anyone, this is what's going to be happening. They're going to fall into the ditch and it was going to be adios. I'd never like kind of see them. That was the basic message. So shortly after this dream, I tell you, members of my family started falling sick one after the other, one after the other. And this is in real life, like total hospitalization. My parents, my brothers, it was just like a whole nightmare of people falling sick. And there I was, after having this dream, looking at these people and just thinking, oh my gosh, besides compassion and being there in whatever way that I could be there for them, I was not allowed, or I was not able to share any other kind of information, because now it was up to them to save themselves. It was up to them to do what they needed to do for themselves. Why? Because they too are powerful beings, because they have it within themselves to save themselves. And there's nothing that I was going to do, you know what I mean, to help them out of these things, because me trying to help them out was basically me having the arrogance and it's almost like a kind of pride that here I am the one who can save you. I have this information and this wisdom that is good for you to get you out of that place, and actively or effectively nullifying or trying to ignore the fact that they too are powerful beings who are able to do whatever they need to do to evolve. And sometimes it's just as simple as that, letting people be themselves so that they too can emerge as the powerful being. This is why they're here. They're here to emerge. They're here to, remove the densities from themselves by themselves, because they can. They have the right to do that for themselves, and nobody has to spoon feed them in helping them remember. They can get activated from the information that they too have, which everybody has that wisdom. Everybody has their timing for remembering. Everyone has their time to emerge. It's almost like, you can't force a caterpillar out of its cocoon. You know what I mean? It has to come out by itself through the natural process that has always been there at the right time. Otherwise, if you do anything to that little cocoon, then you have effectively ruined the caterpillar. That's the same way humans, the beings that we are here for the time that they have chosen to emerge, and it's up to no one. There was a time in the past where we could do these things for people, but the energy is now, and for the people and the beings that are here, the demands are completely different. And this energy is allowing, it's even so much easier. It's easily allowing us to emerge and save our own selves. This is the only thing and the only way that this kind of respect is going to come forward, the respect for oneself, because the person knows, I did it. I emerged. I am here. I am, as you know what I mean? And they don't have to rely on you. They don't depend on you or on anyone else, because they are powerful beings depending on themselves and knowing that they can do it. So my family member was sick for a long, long time. In fact, my father is still sick and hopefully getting better. But it was just hospitalization upon hospitalization upon hospitalization from the month of May. And it was just like this unending cycle of, oh my God, what's happening today? Who's sick today? What are we going to do? You know what I mean? It was just, it was wild. Like, but everyone emerged. And I was so proud of myself because of how I conducted myself through the whole thing, just being supportive and just, responding or to their requests, just their request. Whatever needed to be done, I did, but without imposing myself or saying the things that I probably could have said in the past. So that's one thing that I'm noticing about myself. I'm noticing that it's so much easier for me to step back and allow other people to emerge. I feel so much better for it. It's just magnificent to see how relationships are changing also, because no one is, I don't feel like someone has to listen to something, or that I can help someone, or that things, you know what I mean? It's so much easier now. Have you noticed things like that in your own life? Are you still trying to save someone? How has been the reaction? How has been the response in this now? I truly hope that we are not trying to save people anymore. I really truly hope so, because while we are doing everything to support each other and to have compassion on each other, people saving themselves, people doing it for themselves, spiritual beings, powerful beings doing it for themselves is the way of the future. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. And until next noticing, I love you guys. Bye.